My name is Cheryl Woodard, and I am one of the meditation teachers here at EBS, and apparently one of the most technically challenged ones of all, because I have not been able to get Facebook to do what I asked this morning until just now. I apologize. Anyway, it's funny because here's the deal. EBS is back in person. We started a couple of weeks ago. Right now, sitting there in the main meditation room out there in this building with me are about half a dozen actual live human beings meditating together. I could hear their gong go off just a minute ago. And it's a beautiful day and it's a beautiful place, and they are having a good time together. So I just wanted to invite you, encourage you, if you're in the general vicinity of Little Rock, the state capital, come on over. In the meantime, we've been doing these Facebook Live meditations throughout the pandemic as a substitute for the live group meditations. And some people will continue doing the Facebook Lives, but I think I'm going to hand over to somebody else because it's been I'm not typically a Facebook person, and I have trouble every time with the software and the programs and everything. So that's my little challenge at Peacefulness, is keeping up with modern times. But anyway, I wanted to speak this morning about cultivating peace. And I'm inspired by the teachings of the Vietnamese Zen teacher named Thich Nhat Hanh, who died earlier this year at the age of 95. And if you don't know who he was, I encourage you to look him up. I encourage you to look for his books, because his books are incredibly helpful. He explains Buddhism, but he also explains how to be in the world in a way that is expressive of a spiritual heart and mind. One of my favorite quotes of his, I quote it all the time. He said, "One calm person can save a whole boat of refugees." And I think about that as a perfect, simple way to describe what we can all aspire to be. I mean, I can aspire to be a Buddha, but it seems very far away and distant and difficult. But I can very well aspire to be the calm person in the room who helps everyone else be calm, and therefore creates more peace in the world. So how do we do that? People look at statues of the Buddha and they think that peace is a something like that you are holding still, that you're stiffly kind of keeping yourself from having strong feelings or emotion or being loud or being upset. And actually that's the opposite of how the Buddha taught us to cultivate peace, and because it wouldn't work. It just backfires. If you try to force yourself into any particular state of mind, you just create tension. You just create a struggle. And so the most important teaching from the Buddha is that the peace we're seeking, the love we're seeking, the wisdom we're looking for is already in us. Whether you believe in God or not, whatever else you want to do with yourself spiritually, the first thing the Buddha taught was to cultivate what you already have within you. Find out what you have within you, and then train in that. Let that be. Open it up. Open to what you already are. And he promised that what we have inside of us is unlimited clarity and wisdom, incredible, vast seeing and knowing and understanding. And then we also have compassion. If you're in a room and someone starts crying, you're probably going to start crying too, because we're hardwired together and we resonate with each other, and we have that. So the essence of peace is a flexible, open heart that is awake to the present moment and connected to your own deep, quiet, loving, wise nature. And there are many Buddhist techniques for connecting with this, with ourselves in this way, but the most basic one, the one we do all the time, every Buddhist does, is mindfulness. So what does mindfulness mean? And quite simply, it means paying attention. And think about it. If you consider, actually tell yourself, you know what? I wonder what's going on inside of me. If you have curiosity, then meditation and mindfulness is actually very obvious. It's like mindfulness just means looking at what's going on. Why would you look? And you look because what you're going to find is what's really important. And a lot of the information that we find when we start paying attention in this particular way is very useful to us. One of the first ones that comes up is impermanence. You can be sitting there and you can have a very engaged, absorbing state of mind. You can be outraged at something. And then the next thing you know, that all of that outrage is gone and it's been replaced by, oh, I'm tired, or oh, I'm hungry. Just everything just comes and goes and comes and goes, and nothing sticks. And that in and of itself is a hugely important piece of information, because this very life, the health that you have right now, the relationships that you have now, the people that are in your life that you love, none of them are going to last forever. And if you really believed in the impermanence of your own state of health, plus the state of health of the people around you, would you do everything differently? I think so. And so being mindful, you notice impermanence, and then noticing and remembering impermanence, you slow down, you pay more attention, you even embrace people more deeply, because they might be gone before you know it. So instead of a Buddha statue that is holding stiff and still, I would like you to consider, as an image for meditation, consider a tree. And right now the trees are all going crazy, aren't they? In the spring, oh my goodness, they're all blooming and budding and sending out their pollen. And but their trees are very well rooted in the earth, and they're very well integrated with the environment. If it's hot, they react to the heat and the water and the air around them and the sunlight. They also harbor a tremendous amount of life, bugs, birds, all kinds of creatures, squirrels. So if you just sat and looked at a tree for a while and considered yourself and your tree-like nature, of that you belong in this world, you exist in this world, you have qualities that connect you, and you are constantly, like the trees, you're constantly taking in sunlight and air, and you're constantly in food, and you're relating to the things around you. So the image for mindfulness meditation could be settling into your tree posture, right? Just plant yourself firmly on the ground, on the earth. Feel connected, feel present and alive and awake. That's the whole idea of mindfulness. And you can feel that way, when you're in your house, when you're in your garden, even when you're at work, you can feel that I belong here, I'm in relation to the world, and how does it work? How is everything working? What is going on? And so this meditation that we do is called calm abiding. And it basically means planting yourself in your tree posture, so to speak, which is connected to the deciding, I'm going to make this time and space to be present in my world, just like as if I were a tree, not moving for a moment, not running around doing things, but planted for a moment. And then open. The second part of it, first is settling, second part is opening, which we do by the medium of our breath. We breathe in and out, and in that way reinforce the experience of being connected to the world around us. We are always breathing in nourishment and breathing out what we don't need. And then finally, the last part of this meditation is what we call resting, but I also like to call it looking or observing. So you've settled, you've connected, and now you just look. And the looking is the most peaceful part. The looking is just allowing whatever comes to come and let it go. Let things come and go like they do. See what they are, observe the coming and going, but don't get carried away. It's like if you are a tree, birds come in and they do all kinds of stuff and they leave. And you don't really need to worry about what the birds are doing. They're just going to come and go and come and go and come and go, and you don't need them. They don't have to do anything to you. You can just let that happen. So I'm going to turn the camera. I have a little Buddha statue here. I'm going to turn the camera towards him while we do the meditation, and I'll still be here, but rather than looking at me, you can look at the Buddha, and then I'll come back at the end. Okay, so here's the Buddha. I'm in the EBS bookstore this morning. Anyway, come and see it sometime. So first, make sure that your body is in a relaxed but upright and awake posture. This is your tree posture, so to speak. Feel your weight settling into the chair or the cushion beneath you. And then that your torso rises up effortlessly from your seat, and that your arms are long from your shoulders to your fingers, that your face is relaxed, there's no tension in your face. Your eyes and ears are open but not focused on anything, not working. So I'm going to ring my gong, and as you listen to the sound of the gong disappearing into space, just feel yourself settling into this position, this posture. Now, I want to call your attention to your breath. Draw your breath deeply into your belly. And as you exhale, every once in a while as you exhale, just imagine like a sigh, letting the exhaled breath go way out and join the rest of the universe. So disappear into space. Your breath comes in from far away and goes out again, far, far away. And now that you have settled your body and you are connecting to your breath in the space, let this breathing body be your home base, be your refuge, your go-to happy place, so to speak. So take this posture and this spacious attitude, curious, spacious attitude. And then, this is part 3, just relax. Just observe. Don't force anything. It's natural that your mind will occupy itself with thinking. As long as we're alive, our minds are going to be active. But we don't have to be distracted or disturbed. The question I want to ask you to think about this morning is, besides my thoughts, besides all that coming and going, what else is in me? Just be curious about the space, maybe the space around your thoughts, or the silence in between the thoughts. If the thoughts are not the whole story, what else is there? So I'm going to be quiet now for a few minutes and let you do this on your own. Remember to breathe deeply in and out, settle your body, and then open your curiosity and pay attention. And if you forget where you are, or you get overwhelmed or whatever, you can just go back to refreshing your body, your posture, your breath, and start over. So again, there's nothing wrong with the activity of your mind. It's always going to be there. But the message we're working with here is that that activity is not all we are. There's more to us than that. What else is there? And we want to be curious about the space around the thoughts. You will be peaceful if you're not at war with your own mind. So this practice that we're doing, this mindfulness practice, is creating a space and a time and a connection that is open and generous and peaceful and kind towards ourselves. And if you make a habit of this, it can become your nature. This is how you train to be a calm person. You stop fighting, you stop being at war with your own nature. So I'm going to come back here. I don't want to ring that gong again. It's too weird. It's not a good gong. But here I am. I'm still here. I want to suggest that you try this really simple technique all day long. You can just settle your body. It's really those three parts. Settle your body, open out by breathing, being thoughtful about your breath for a little bit, maybe 3-4 breaths. Breathe deeply out, in and out, kind of consciously for a little bit, and then just observe. And you might do that for 2 minutes while you're riding on the bus or waiting in line at the grocery store, or before you put your fingers on your keyboard at the computer in the morning. Just take a minute to just sit up, be a tree-like posture, open with your breath, and observe yourself, be with yourself for a moment, and then put your fingers on the keyboard or whatever you have to do. Over time, as you practice, I think you will find that your mind settles down more quickly. I think we love this experience of openness eventually. At first it might be awkward, like riding a bicycle. But eventually, if you become familiar with it, it is just very nourishing, and our whole spirit kind of responds and goes, oh yeah, I can just sit here and look. So I want to thank you for coming. Once again, let me remind you that I was inspired this morning by the teacher Thich, Nhat Hanh, Thichnhat, H-A-N-H. He was a Vietnamese Zen teacher, and his books are wonderful. So Google him. You can see his teachings too on YouTube all over the place. He taught in the West for 70 years, 60 years. He was an advisor to Martin Luther King, and he was just a remarkable teacher, and his presence is beautiful. So you can look for videos of him or read his books. And EBS is open, so come on down. There's nothing like sitting in the room with other people. It just is so nourishing. And like I said, we resonate in harmony with each other. And so when there's other people sitting around you, it's easier for you to settle. There's just more power in the meditation. So we have a group that studies Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings. They meet on Thursday nights at 7 on Zoom and in person. And we have all kinds of other groups meeting. They're all listed on one page on our website. Look for that. and again, look at the calendar on our website and come on over, okay? In the meantime, I wish you all kinds of peace and happiness, and we'll get through this. It's spring. We should have a good time now. Thank you.